History is a vast and ancient ocean, its depths holding countless stories lost to the currents of time. Yet some tales refuse to sink. They surface again and again, carried on whispers and recorded in the fragile parchments of old. One such legend is that of a fire that could not be quenched. A fire that clung to water, that devoured ships and men with equal ferocity. This was no ordinary flame born of wood and tinder. This was a weapon, a state secret of immense power, wielded by an empire at the crossroads of the world. It was known by many names, but history remembers it best as Greek fire. A substance so terrifying, so utterly devastating that its mere presence could turn the tide of a war and secure the fate of a civilization for centuries. Picture the scene. The year is 677. The Sea of Marmara, that vital waterway leading to the golden heart of the Byzantine Empire, is choked with the ships of the Umayyad Caliphate. For years they have laid siege to Constantinople, their confidence growing with each passing season. The city's inhabitants look out from their formidable walls, their hope beginning to wane. As dawn breaks, a different kind of light begins to glow upon the water. From the prows of the Byzantine dromons, their swift and agile warships, a new and terrible weapon is unleashed. Great streams of liquid fire arc through the air, propelled from bronze siphons that hiss and roar like mythical beasts. Where this liquid touches wood, it erupts into a furious, clinging blaze. Where it touches water, the flames do not die, they dance and spread across the surface, creating a burning sea that traps the enemy ships in a fiery embrace. It is a spectacle of pure, unadulterated horror. The effect upon the Arab fleet is instantaneous and catastrophic. Panic erupts. What then was this extraordinary substance? The precise recipe, as we have seen, was a secret so closely guarded that it died with the empire itself. Yet, from the writings of those who saw it, we can begin to assemble a picture of its properties. It was a liquid, thick and viscous, that ignited upon contact with the air, or shortly after being launched. It was not a simple incendiary like oil or pitch, which could be extinguished with relative ease. No, this was something far more complex, a compound engineered for maximum terror and destruction. It possessed a horrifying persistence, a stubborn refusal to be put out that made it a truly fearsome weapon on the battlefield. Historical accounts, such as those from the Byzantine princess and historian Anna Komnene, describe its effects in vivid detail. She wrote that it could be extinguished by sand, vinegar or old urine, but never by water. The composition remains a subject of intense debate among historians and chemists. It was almost certainly a petroleum-based mixture. Scholars have proposed a range of additives, including pine resin for adhesion, sulfur to increase the heat and produce noxious fumes, and perhaps quicklime. The primary method of deploying Greek fire was a triumph of early military engineering. The Byzantines developed a device known as a siphon, a large bronze tube typically mounted on the prow of their warships. This was no simple flamethrower. It was a complex apparatus involving a heated cauldron to pressurize the mixture and a pump operated by a crew of specialized soldiers, the siphonarioi. In the heat of a naval engagement, the Byzantine dromons would maneuver to get within range of the enemy fleet. On the command, the siphonarioi would go to work. The pump would be primed, the nozzle aimed, and with a great roar, a torrent of liquid fire would shoot across the water. The range was not immense, perhaps only 20 or 30 meters, but it was more than enough. While the ship-mounted siphon was its most famous application, the Byzantines were versatile in its use. They developed handheld versions called chirosiphones, which were essentially portable flamethrowers used by soldiers in both naval boarding actions and land-based sieges. They also filled clay grenades with the substance, which could be thrown by hand or launched from catapults, shattering on impact and splashing the sticky burning liquid over a wide area. The formula for Greek fire was not merely a military secret, it was a sacred trust, a state secret of the highest order, believed to have been delivered to the first Christian emperor, Constantine the Great, by an angel. This divine origin story, whether believed as literal truth or employed as powerful propaganda, elevated the weapon beyond mere earthly technology. It became an artifact of faith, a symbol of God's favor upon the Byzantine Empire. The production and handling of Greek fire were compartmentalized and placed under the direct control of the emperor and a handful of trusted families. Knowledge was fragmented. Only a very small, elite circle understood the entire process from start to finish. The punishment for attempting to uncover or share the secret was, unsurprisingly, death. But it was not a simple execution. It was a death meant to serve as a terrifying deterrent to any who might contemplate such a betrayal. The preservation of the Greek fire secret was not a static process. It was a living tradition, passed down through generations. The knowledge was likely held within a few select families or guilds, bound by oaths of loyalty to the emperor. A father would pass the cryptic formula to his son, an uncle to his nephew, ensuring the expertise remained within a tight, trusted circle. This hereditary system of guardianship fostered a profound sense of duty and honor. Over the centuries, as the empire ebbed and flowed, the secret had to be protected not just from external foes, but from internal turmoil as well. During periods of civil war or dynastic struggle, when the throne of Constantinople was contested, the keepers of the fire faced immense pressure. The chain of knowledge, passed down from generation to generation, was finally broken. By the 14th century, it appears the Byzantines no longer possessed the true formula for the potent water-immune Greek fire of their ancestors. The decline of Greek fire was not a sudden event, but a slow, gradual fading, mirroring the decline of the empire that wielded it. The pivotal moment was the Fourth Crusade in 1204. When Western European knights sacked the city of Constantinople, they inflicted a wound from which the Byzantine Empire would never truly recover. In the chaos that followed, it is highly probable that the workshops where Greek fire was produced were destroyed, the skilled artisans killed or scattered, and the chain of secret knowledge irrevocably broken. The final fall of Constantinople in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks was a battle fought with a new kind of fire, gunpowder. The massive cannons of Sultan Mehmed II hammered the ancient walls of the city into submission. In a sad twist of irony, the empire that had been saved for centuries by its secret fire was ultimately conquered by a new, more powerful form of fire that was no secret at all. Today, the mystery of Greek fire continues to smoulder. It remains one of history's most tantalizing secrets, a puzzle that modern science and historical research have yet to solve definitively. We can analyze the accounts, we can propose chemical formulas, and we can conduct experiments to replicate its effects. But without the original recipe, we are left with educated guesses. And so, the fire remains unquenchable, not on the water, but in our minds. It burns as a question mark in the pages of history. While we may never know the exact combination that Callinicos brought to Constantinople, the search for answers continues. The tale of Greek fire is a reminder that even in our world of information, some mysteries are destined to remain, their flames casting long, dancing shadows back through the corridors of time, inviting us to look closer and to wonder.